It's Wembley today. In 3 months' time, it will be Old Trafford, Anfield and the Emirates for one of these clubs. Two cities better known for their rugby teams have the chance to put themselves firmly on the football map. It's red and white against amber and black. And it's Hull City's first ever visit to Wembley. They would have gone anywhere to see this. Their first ever promotion to the top division is now within touching distance. It's 28 years since Bristol City graced the top tier. They're chasing back-to-back promotions, and they haven't been beaten by today's opponents for 23 years. But Hull City start as the favourites to go up. And at the helm for them, Phil Brown, relative novice as a manager, just over 2 years' experience. Compare that to Gary Johnson, for whom it all started 21 years ago as player-manager at Newmarket Town. It is the Coca-Cola Championship playoff final, worth an estimated £60 million to the winner. Bristol City against Hull City, live from Wembley Stadium, Sky Sports 1, and also available in high definition on channel 408.
Unfashionable perhaps, uncharted certainly, but there will be a new destination for the Premier League sat-navs next season. Will it be a new Western outpost though, or will it be the East Riding of Yorkshire? One thing is for sure, for both clubs this is quite simply the biggest match in their history. Neither have ever been close to the Premier League before, neither ever promoted via the playoffs. Both clubs playing in front of their biggest ever crowd and with it a worldwide audience. Don, it's really a question of not so much how they play the opposition, but how they play the occasion.
Well, it's been proven, hasn't it, in the past? I mean, you only have to look at the pictures that you're seeing here to know this isn't just an ordinary game. The hype surrounding it, the prize at the end of it, you really have got to try and keep everything as normal as possible as a player. Your routine, which was interesting how different before the game, the difference of the routines. Hull City, a shorter warm-up. They went back into the dressing room. I'm sure they had the team talking there. Bristol City were out here for a long time before Hull and a long time afterwards, perhaps soaking up the atmosphere. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out in that respect.
With every big showpiece occasion such as this, it's the moment where the players are itching to get on with it, but a few formalities to be undergone. There's the chairman of the Football League, Lord Mulwiney, leading the presentation committee. It's been an extraordinary week, hasn't it? We've seen the best two from the Premier League fight it out for the Champions League, and it ends here at Wembley this afternoon with these two fighting it out to join them amongst the country's elite next season. The chance to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Manchester United, the likes of Chelsea. Two captains for either club as well, Don, who very much bleed the respective colours, particularly Lewis Carey, pretty much exclusively a one-club man, playoff playing with Bristol City before over the last 4 or 5 seasons. And he introduces his teammates to the Football League chairman.
Well, I think when you're a hometown boy like Lewis Carey, like Dean Windass for Hull, means even more. You know how the supporters are feeling at this precise moment. And in probably all likelihood, you would be here at the ground if you weren't playing.
As a manager, you plan, you prepare, but you're ever really ready for an occasion like this? Who handles the weight of expectation and that weight of club history? Well, the wait is nearly over now. We just pause for the national anthem.
Please be upstanding for the national anthem, led for us this afternoon by Catherine Sales.
fastest gunslingers are about to ride into town to claim the grand reward. Their weapons of choice, locked and loaded, ready to be drawn as they charge towards a Parisian shootout. Fox Sports is the only place to see all the big shots as they're fired at Roland Garros. The French Open begins tonight at 6, live and exclusive to Fox Sports.
Young guns, one house, one A-League contract. Hosted by Brian McFadden and exclusive to Fox 8. The brand new series, Football Superstar, kicks off Thursday, June 19, Fox 8.
Bristol City have that late change thrust upon them. Jamie McCoom woke up this morning with a stomach bug. He misses out. Liam Fontaine called up to the starting lineup for the first time in 2 months. Elsewhere, it's unchanged. It means that the manager had to break the news to his son. He wouldn't be starting the match. Australian Nick Carl keeps the shirt alongside Bristol City's Young Player of the Year, Marvin Elliott. Bristol City captained, of course, by their boyhood fan, Lewis Carey. Unlike the opponents, no need for a change for Hull City. It's the same side that started both legs of the semi-final win against Watford. More experienced, certainly, particularly with the Hull-born duo, Nicky Barmby and Dean Windass. So a place for the manager's son, Gary Johnson on the bench. Thomas Vasco called up because of that illness for Jamie McCoom, and Dean Marnie back among the Hull substitutes after missing out in the playoffs so far through injury. Alan Wiley, the match referee, back at Wembley in charge of an all-championship affair. He was the man in the middle for the FA Cup semi-final here between Cardiff and Barnsley. Promotions from the conference, FA trophies, much derided by large quarters of the Bristol City support when he took over and oversaw 9 consecutive defeats in the early weeks of his management. Now he, like his opposite number here, Phil Brown, stand on the brink of making history for their clubs. At the start of the season, 9 months ago, it's a highly unlikely climax to the Coca-Cola Championship, but nonetheless a mouth-watering one. Two sides who throughout have been there or thereabouts. Bristol City in the top 6 since August. Hull City on a late run, only missing out on automatic promotion on the final day. But come the final reckoning on a lovely sunny afternoon in North London, who has the stomach for the fight with such a big prize waiting just around the corner? So the date, the 24th of May, for the 28th match played here at the new Wembley. By the end of it, we'll know the identity of the 42nd different club to play in the Premier League. Both sides with confidence coursing through their players after convincing and highly effective playoff semi-final wins against two sides who were the favourites to prevail. Slightly harder it was for Bristol City, extra time required to see off Crystal Palace. But Hull City, after a couple of nervous moments against Watford in the home leg, really put their foot on the gas and come here perhaps as the marginal favourites.
I think the word marginal is absolutely accurate as well. There's so little between these two teams. It really is going to be thrilling to see the tactical battle that comes to fruition.
Both these clubs as their average gate in the Coca-Cola Championship this season, averaging under 20,000. Every single ticket available for sale for this match was sold out by both these clubs. Barmby looking to ask questions of the new boy in the lineup, Fontaine, and Garcia. Well, perhaps that's down to a few Wembley nerves.
Well, we'll give him that one, shall we? Very, very difficult. Not really a chance, but took the option. Rattle one of those out of every 10,000 in the net, I would suspect. He's got the first, shall we call it, attempt at goal in the playoff final.
One-off game, of course it is, but Bristol City will be happier if previous form between the two comes into play. Unbeaten in the last 9 meetings, 23 years since Hull last won. They're on this very ground, although was slightly older in those days. Live Aid was taking place. That's how long it has been since Hull got the better of Bristol City. Our supporters would say no time like the present to change that. Good closing down here by Garcia, looking to use the full width of the Wembley pitch. McAllister for company. Fraser Campbell in the middle. Dean Windass with that dyed blonde hair, especially for the occasion, couldn't control it, and Bristol City looked to come forward. Adebola. His strength prevails here. Trying to get that cross away. Away by Turner, Hull City's player of the year. The Australian Carl now trying to get it into the mix. Adebola underneath it. So too was Elliott. And Hull, slightly panicky, able to get it clear.
Well, I'm really surprised. I mean, we expected a fast, frenetic start, but it surpassed my expectations. Both clubs really going for it. It's end-to-end. I think Dili Adebola served notice of intent there, didn't he? The way he muscled away the Hull City attempt at defending there.
And he's tried a few formations, a few different formulas, Gary Johnson, as the season has come towards its climax to find a winning formula. He's certainly come across it. You hesitate to say stumbled across it because everything with him is pretty well thought through. And this Trundle-Adebola axis up front has really paid dividends for them, just when their season looked to be running out of steam.
I think that's why you've really got to pay homage to the character shown by both of these two teams. Both had disappointment to overcome, didn't they? The long spells, Bristol City in the top 2, and Hull just a couple of weeks before the end of the season had their fate in their own hands, couldn't quite see it through for automatic, but they've both bounced back incredibly well in the playoff semi-finals to get to this stage, but they won't want to fall flat now.
And preventing Lee Trundle getting any sort of time on the ball, Brian Hughes has given away this free kick. And as we've already seen in these playoffs, set piece are very much a strength of Bristol City. It's angled up towards the captain, Carey. Windass underneath it for Hull City. Touched on well by Elliott. Dili Adebola onside here. Adebola couldn't get the contact he was looking for.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's never really been a prolific striker, but he wishes he could have this over again, and it was on his left foot. Great strength there, but he swings that right foot, and you can see by that effort he is not right-footed. He just doesn't get any kind of real contact on it, but what an opportunity.
I'll look to ask questions themselves against the Brazilian in the Bristol City goal, Adriano Basso. Adebola again, ambling forward to try and make his presence felt. It's worked out nicely. This is Bradley Orr. Anglewell looking for McIndoe.
Once again, we've seen it, haven't we, throughout the course of the season. Michael McIndoe drifting in from that left-hand side, and in doing so, he's managed a few goals this season.
He's certainly peaking at the right time as well. A lot of those goals coming recently, 3 in his last 4. He crowned their semi-final win, Bristol City, with the well-worked set-piece against Crystal Palace, which really sparked the celebrations. Here's Carl, a combative Australian in the Bristol City engine room. Blocked out by Ashby, who would certainly fall into that category for the men in amber. McAllister. He looked to hit Adebola early again. Lee Trundle. Use of the arm means a free kick awarded against him.
Oh, think as this ball comes in, Adebola again, they don't deal with him, but there's the hand, the left arm of Lee Trundle. Referee Alan Wiley in a perfect position. He's just instructed, actually, Alan Wiley, there's quite a few balloons on that far side. The referee wants them removing and bursting before he allows to get back underway. We've seen the impact that balloons can have on football matches, haven't we?
There've been a couple of occasions this season. There were a few actually in Bristol City's last game, weren't there? Nearly had the impact. Bramall Lane in the FA Cup was the prime example this season, though, wasn't it? For all his strengths, Nick Barmby, the aerial battle, perhaps not one that he'll win this afternoon against Bradley Orr. Goodness me, how he stepped up to the plate for his hometown club in those semi-finals. 2 goals, 1 in each of them. This after hardly featuring in the previous couple of months through injury. We heard him saying in the build-up to the match how he's very much welcome back into the fold. No doubt about it, Phil Brown has lent heavily on the experienced heads to manoeuvre Hull into this position. Carl. Doesn't spend a lot of time sitting down on the bench, Phil Brown. That's not his managerial style. Trundle trying to get some room. Adebola alongside him, and the signs are there that those front two are starting to find a little bit of space already.
Well, they have been very, very effective, haven't they? Particularly over the 2 legs against Crystal Palace. Worked well in tandem. They're actually chalk and cheese in the style of play, aren't they? But very effective partnership.
It looked for large swathes of the season, didn't it? Like it was a little bit of an extravagance, the £1 million that Gary Johnson spent on Lee Trundle. But in the last month, it has looked to be money well spent. 2 goals in his last 3 games. And also with an appetite for the big occasion, Lee Trundle. Look at reasons why the bookmakers might have seen Hull City as favourites. They did finish 1 point above Bristol City. And look at the goals scored and conceded over the season. Hull did score 11 more and conceded 6 fewer. Although, of course, they haven't managed to get the better of the men in red at this campaign. A goalless draw up at the KC and a 2-1 defeat in the most recent meeting, even though the scoreline didn't really affect the balance of play or reflect the balance of play that day. It's the Hull side of the story anyway.
It's just settled down a little bit now, hasn't it, the pace of the game? A little bit more sparring going on out there, but fast, frenetic opening it was.
Bradley Orr got in the way well. Hull City's Player of the Year, Turner. Garcia. McIndoe got back well. Ricketts. Ashby the captain. Barmby the evergreen. Dawson. Fraser Campbell. Starting to move it around neatly here. Hughes looking for the run of Windass. As well marshalled by McAllister.
That's good defending, isn't it, again? These are 2 very, very good defensive units we've got out here. As this ball comes in, Dean Windass comes in. He's looking to get him behind, but it's good, strong defending by Jamie McAllister just to let that ball run out.
No coincidence that they are strong defensive units. They've been able to play a little bit of fortune in there as well, but been able to play most of the season pretty much unchanged. Here's Trundle. Noble. David Noble looking for Marvin Elliott. Orr now.
He's normally the source of very, very good crosses, isn't he? Bradley Orr, not one of his best, but does like to get forward.
Performances down this right for Bristol City this season that have seen him voted by his fellow professionals in the team of the season. Carey and Windass, that's going to be a good old-fashioned battle.
They're going to be match-ups all over the pitch, aren't they? Battles, individual battles. It's collectively, isn't it, at the end of the day?
I think both managers will have had a fair idea that the lineups would be as close to unchanged to those that both managers fielded in the semi-finals. And this, of course, denied Jamie McCoom the chance to put previous playoff pain behind him. Here's Fraser Campbell looking to burst, and vital for Bristol City that Basso was alive. He's going to need to be with the pace of Fraser Campbell. Windass. Hughes. Ricketts. Windass. Noble tucking in to make up the numbers for Bristol City. The space he left can be used by Bradley Orr. Baylor doesn't quite have the pace to get inside. Ashby. Campbell missed it. That was due to interference. An arm in the back from Lewis Carey and a free kick for Hull City.
Well, they are watching very, very closely, aren't they, on Fraser Campbell? And they'd be crazy not to. He has had an absolutely fantastic season for Hull City. He's a real danger.
And since 9 o'clock this morning, the supporters from Hull and from Bristol, from northeast and from west of the country have been arriving here. It is a carnival day out. Two cities deprived of the big time for so much of their history. Just 9 years of Bristol City's history has been in the top division. Hull, of course, famously never been there. That could all change. A little bit of confusion at the back.
We saw uncharacteristically, didn't we, in the semi-finals? A little bit of confusion in that Bristol City defence actually cost them the 2 goals that they conceded against Crystal Palace. A lack of communication with Basso and a couple of his defenders. I won't want a repeat of that.
Interesting to monitor his preparation, Gary Johnson. They came down to London on Thursday to get a feel for the place. This is when they made the visit to Wembley. Spent the best part of 45 minutes out here warming up. While Hull City were much more miserly with the time they spent out there. A more workmanlike approach from Phil Brown and his side, you could say. Not getting caught up in the occasion too much. And we'll find out later on in the afternoon which approach serves which side the best. McIndoe, significantly 3 around him to prevent him getting a run. Fontaine. Bradley Orr. 3 hoping and waiting that the cross might come to them, but the offside flag would have denied them even if it had been a little more accurate.
Just drifted a yard the wrong side, Michael McIndoe. See, Gary Johnson will be pleased that it's his Bristol City boys who are enjoying a lion's share of possession. They do play a possession, a passing game, and on a day like today when it's really hot down there, that's what he'll want them to do. He'll want them to keep that football, stay patient and wait for their openings.
Carey beats Windass to the punch this time. Hull will be hoping that the playoff promotion pattern continues. Last 2 years, the side that finished 3rd in the Championship was the one to go up by the playoffs. Watford, and last season, Derby County. Looking for any guide over recent history in terms of scorelines, we would suggest it will be tight. 3 of the last 4 winners won it by a 1-0 scoreline.
It's been 10 years, hasn't it, since the fourth-place team actually won one.
What a final that was when Charlton edged out Sunderland on penalties. Just did enough there, McIndoe, to prevent any real venom and danger in the cross.
That was a great run. Again, Sam Ricketts perfectly happy to go forward from that right-back position, and McIndoe really has got to work hard to stay back and do a turn for his team.
Real determination, steely look in his eyes over these last few weeks. Really felt it, didn't he, in the colours of Wolves last season as they were denied by West Bromwich Albion in the playoffs. Felt he had a point to prove as well after being released at Molineux in the summer. His contribution has been as important as most for Bristol City and for Gary Johnson's side this season. Adebola. Here's Nick Carr, who's never scored. He will still have to wait, but didn't he work it well?
Well, he just curses himself because this is fantastic. Quick feet, he arrives, shifts the ball. He hasn't got time. You've got to give credit to Hull City's defenders as they come in and close. It's Wayne Brown that gets across to put him under pressure, but you can see he's frustrated. He feels he should have at least hit the target there. But the signs are good for Bristol City.
He's an Australian international, Nick Carr, and he's been in communication in the build-up to the game with one of his Socceroo teammates, Tim Cahill, telling him what to expect on the big occasion and on the big stage of the Premier League. Cahill would have been proud of the build-up, but finished just eluding Carl. Noble. Wayne Brown. Windass. Murray again, getting in there first. The battle of the veterans.
He's just not allowing Dean Windass a moment, is he? He's scary.
Marvin Elliott. Adebola.
Still too many touches. Marvin Elliott wanted a first-time ball laid out to that right-hand side as he had burst forward from midfield.
This time Windass did get the jump. Fraser Campbell, cross comes McAllister, in goes the challenge, waved away by Alan Wiley, resulting cross is an inviting one at the far post. Well, both get there though, Barnby.
I was going to say, both fullbacks have got good defending to do here. First of all, it's McAllister there, look, just gets a foot on the ball, that's a great tackle. And then at the far post, as Windass stands this up, Bradley Orr has to win this, and he does so. Nick Barnby coming in behind him.
We've just seen Hull City's best moments of this final so far. They reward their corner, and the Bristol City defence deprived of one of its key men, Bradley Orr, feeling the effects of giving away this corner. In it swept by Hughes. Happy to see it go wide there, Bristol City.
And Turner has got on the score sheet from set pieces many times this season. Iliad Ebola not happy. He feels he was being held down here as the ball comes in. They have a little battle there. He climbs all over the back of him. He just misses anyway, thankfully, from a Bristol City perspective.
5 goals from the back this season. Brown, still down to 10 men here, Bristol City, as Bradley Orr gets treatment. Now McAllister. Carl. Elliott, he's filling in at the moment at right back for Bradley Orr. Now Lee Trundle trying to manoeuvre it onto that left foot of it. Good block by Brown. Here's McIndoe. Teed up towards Dele Adebola. Away by Wayne Brown. This is Carl now for Bristol City. Ashby just got in there. Body between man and ball, and Carl took the bait.
Well, that's what Ian Ashby does ever so well for his Hull City team. Mops things up, and Nick Carl, it's a silly free kick to give away. His team were on attack, and he's hacked into the back of Ian Ashby.
It was in clearing it away from Nicky Barmby that he picked up that injury. Just looks a cut above the eye, doesn't it?
It was brave defending. He had to win it for his team. Nicky Barmby was stealing in there.
Barmby for Hughes. Space here for Ricketts, the Welsh international fullback. Goes to the far post where there is no Bradley Orr, of course. Barmby with the overhead. Fraser Campbell missed it. McAllister can clear it.
Just one or two signs, isn't it, over the last 5 minutes from Hull City. You can hear the crowd responding to that.
It's a first half too, this first half, which has ebbed and flowed just when Bristol City threatened that they might gain the higher ground, so Hull have come right back at them. Still Bradley Orr gets treatment. Look to utilise the pace of Fraser Campbell. Here's Brian Hughes. Ricketts. Windass. This is a good spell from Hull. It's Ricketts' cross. It's Garcia. It is just over.
That's super football from Hull City. Again, they link up ever so well down that right-hand side. It's Dean Windass and Ricketts this time. It's a lovely ball, and Garcia coming in from wide there to get on the end of this. And as he gets in there, it's just a fraction too high, but that will give Hull City an awful lot of encouragement.
Scored a wonderful goal, didn't he, in the home rout, as it turned out, particularly in the second half against Watford. Still we wait for the first name on the Wembley score sheet of the playoff final. The Premier League prize awaiting in 2008. Ashby. Well, Orr is back on, so Bristol City have a little more steel to their defence. Certainly full complement in terms of numbers restored. Garcia. Ashby. Dawson.
That's good pressure, isn't it, from Bristol City? Good closed down as a team, forced Hull back.
Perry wins it again. Noble. Marvin Elliott. Whistle went to mouth, no advantage came, so free kick follows. They'll take it quickly. Looking to catch Bristol City unawares. Ricketts. Dawson. Bristol City are being stretched out of shape. Dawson hangs it up. McAllister got the touch. Here's Dean Windass.
He's trying to lift that back up and over, but Hull are really forcing the issue now. This time it's from the left-hand side, and Dawson crosses it. Fontaine misses it, and Dean Windass trying to lift that back to the far post. And he's getting more involved now, isn't he, Dean Windass? And you can see the reason why, because they've turned this round now, Hull City. They're now enjoying the lion's share of the ball.
Greeley Adebola looking to help it on, but using foul means to get above Brown. What's encouraging in terms of the game as a spectacle, though, both sides trying to play their football.
It's been a fantastic opening 25 minutes, hasn't it? They're both confident teams, full of belief. They believe that they can go and impose their own game on the opposition and go on and win this game and get their club up into the Premier League.
Backing in there, Dean Windass. Alan Wiley keeping an eagle eye on that developing duel.
Called him over, didn't he? Dean Windass called Alan Wiley over at him there, didn't he? I think wants to explain a few things. As the ball comes up towards him, he's got his eyes fixed on, he is backing. Lewis Carey goes up early. There's not an awful lot wrong with that, to be honest. But Alan Wiley was in close proximity.
They might just feel, Bristol City, that they've weathered a little bit of the storm. Chance for them anyway to spend some time in the opposition half. Ashby again there to mop up in front of his back four. Barnby hoping that Windass was on his way. Ricketts, Ashby, now Garcia. There's the man who thought he was among the substitutes till this morning. Brought in late on, the first time he's been in the starting lineup for the best part of 2 months. Ashby looks long, Campbell tries to get him behind, ball checks. And it was much closer than it might have been.
Well, Peter Beardsley spoke before the game about how the ball bounces and checks, and it does here. It holds up in the grass, and Nicky Barnby just runs under it. It's checked up that much, and Bristol City get lucky.
Adebola, McIndoe, looking for Trundle, only finding Brown. McAllister. Brown again. Part of the Ipswich setup, although not the Ipswich side. And they got one of their rare playoff successes here. The final season of the playoffs at the old Wembley it was. Trundle slid in for Adebola.
Stronger from him again, isn't it? Hunting in packs, Hull City back there. Very, very good unit.
Carl now. McIndoe. It's neither one thing nor the other in the end.
Again, gets crowded out. Lots of amber shirts around you when you get that ball in the final third.
Fontaine. Here's Carl. Orr. And Noble. McIndoe. Trying to turn it round the corner. Turner was there. Now Brown to clear. And Garcia. Fraser Campbell. Shrugs off Fontaine. Finds Barnby. Dawson. Hughes. Ricketts makes his move down the Hull City right. Free weight in the middle. Barnby at the far post. Windass underneath it. Well, this is the first of 3 big playoff games here at the National Stadium. Tomorrow an all-Yorkshire affair, Doncaster against Leeds United 2:30, Sky Sports 2 and HD2. And on Bank Holiday Monday, Greater Manchester comes to North London. It's Rochdale against Stockport in League 2. That's Monday 2:30, Sky Sports 2, and in high definition as well. McIndoe. And a chance for him to run at Ricketts. Looks for Adebola. Carl. Noble. McIndoe again has come in to try and get some joy centrally. asking Trundle to move wide. Carl. Noble. Cries of shoot from the Bristol City supporters, no surprise after his contributions in the semi-final. Trundle, away by Brown. Promising Bristol City build-up, delivered little in the end. Well over half an hour played, and it's turning out to be as enthralling and captivating a contest as we thought it might be. Not a whole load of chances, but two teams who are certainly trying to do things the right way.
Absolutely. There's been a good opening part to this match. I think both managers will be fairly content with the way their teams have settled down into this match. Just still waiting for that real clear opening that could turn this game.
Bubbling under, isn't it? Waiting for a catalyst, a spark. There are players out there who can provide it. Noble being one of them. Trundle certainly another. Just wanted too much time.
And that's where he really wanted to get that ball onto his left foot. And Hull City, they've done the homework. They know all about Lee Trundle, and they didn't let him.
Pulled back by Alan Wiley. It was significant in the home game, particularly against Crystal Palace. And he prevented him largely getting the ball on his left foot at all. The two occasions he did. Once he scored a decisive goal, and the other time he hit the crossbar.
Well, he has got a fantastic left foot. Terrific ability to strike the ball hard. He can bend it, he can place it. He's got good quick feet. He's very one-sided. That might be the only criticism, really.
Dawson. Bristol City captain. Looking for Trundle. Looking to check on the ball, makes life awkward. Lee Trundle might just be able to get some joy here. And get some help from Adebola.
Well, Michael McIndoe's holding his arms out because he was up there in support of Lee Trundle. If he could have just turned out and rolled it back.
Carl, early ball, hits Trundle. Now McIndoe. Back in by Carl. Adebola came off the back of the head of Turner. Made it look cool and composed under pressure.
It's getting tighter and tighter out there, isn't it? It's going to take a moment of magic, or maybe a mistake, perhaps a concentration.
Barnby makes a present of it to McIndoe. Is that the mistake you're talking about, Don? Doesn't prove costly, not this time anyway. Just over 10 minutes left on the first half. As the minutes tick by, everyone is so aware of the significance. It's a club-changing afternoon for these two in terms of the financial rewards and the prestige, the locations on the map that they will be looking at next season. Old Trafford, Anfield, the Emirates Stadium, Stamford Bridge. No surprise as the clock ticks on, so it gets more nervy.
Significance of the first goal in these games often proves decisive, doesn't it? Both managers, both clubs, both teams will be fully aware of that.
Carl. Ball. McAllister. McIndoe. Just eased out of it by Ashby. Too much so for Alan Wiley's liking.
He felt that Michael McIndoe had overrun that and that he was stronger than him in the challenge, but again, Alan Wiley was right, in the perfect position to see what was going on there.
So a Bristol City set piece. Closer to the halfway line than the penalty box, but nonetheless, sure it's a base that has been covered by Gary Johnson. McAllister will take it. Cluster of red on the edge of the box. A flurry of movement and a Hull City clearance. Carl. McAllister. Adebola. Fontaine of absolute Barnby. Noble. Carl. Noble for McIndoe. Now McAllister. Turner on hand for Hull. Marvin Elliott. Trundle. And towards McIndoe. Ashby going to loop it clear. And Bristol City just starting to turn the screw a little bit. Looking for that elusive end product though. It's Elliott towards McIndoe. It's Dele Adebola and it's away by Ricketts.
Well, it's his first touch. Gets away from him. Now Hull City can counter-attack.
It's Nick Barnby. Windass to his right, Campbell to his left. Hull City's top scorer, Fraser Campbell. A slip by Lewis Carey. Windass! Quite simply, destined to be from Dean Windass. A clinical volley, a vital step forward, and who knows, maybe that's the moment from the hometown boy that for 104 years of history, the city of Hull has been dreaming about.
Well, it's fairy tale stuff, isn't it? For the first time, Fraser Campbell is allowed to turn and run, and he leaves the defenders on their backside, but then he's got the presence of mind to spot Windass, and how about that for volleying technique? It is first class, gets his head still, watches the ball right onto his foot. Well, the rest is history. That is absolutely magnificent. And nothing more than Phil Brown would expect from a player of Dean Windass's quality. What a big goal.
Doesn't he know it? Number 201 of an illustrious and lengthy career in English football.
You just couldn't write the script, could you?
I thought all the endings had been used up in those semi-finals with the Windass and Barnby double act, but another chapter written. Daring to dream. Very nearly halfway there now, though. And the fairy godfather, Dean Windass. And a wave of that right boot has put Hull into the driving seat.
It was clinical, absolutely clinical. Adriano Basso, Bristol City's player of the year, absolutely no chance of keeping that ball out of the net.
And Bristol City bounce back, McIndoe's offside. And it all came, didn't it, from a Bristol City attack that broke down.
Well, it was a counter-attack, there's no doubt about it. Bristol City were enjoying possession, and Dean Windass has punished them, and this is how. As I say, good movement from Campbell. He gets Liam Fontaine, wrong foots him, and then Lewis Carey slips. But he looks up. This is what's brilliant about it. He picks out Dean Windass, and look how far away Adriano Basso is from that. It is a brilliant, brilliant goal.
History now favours Hull City, as you can see. A little bit of concern, though, over Bradley Orr, who was injured, remember, earlier on, clearing away as Nicky Barnby tried to head it in. He's going to need some more treatment. Can tell it's a worrying one, because the Hull City players first to call over medical help.
It's a bit concerning the way that they had him sit down there. It tends to make you think that he might have lost a little bit of consciousness.
He lost one defender in the build-up to the game through illness. His injury going to deny Bristol City another key cog in their defensive machine. stretcher doesn't improve the outlook for Bristol City.
This may be the reason that he's down there and feeling a bit woozy there. As he goes up, he clashes heads badly with Nicky Barmby there. And while that was quite some considerable time ago, it was a nasty collision, and maybe it's kind of a delayed reaction going on here.
He's got so much swelling now, the eye barely opening, and understandably considerable concern. Time for Bristol City to take stock, and the manager has told his son to get ready for action. Well, it looks like an unhappy end to what has been a very positive season for Bradley Orr. All this moments after the hammer blow to Bristol City hopes delivered by Dean Windass. Every medical precaution being taken. No doubt it is a head injury. Let's hope it's not too serious a one. Meantime, in terms of Lee Johnston's introduction, you would think he would come into midfield, and one of the midfielders probably switching back to fill in at right back. We saw Elliott do it when all was off the field earlier on, but he's a big miss in midfield.
Yeah, well, they've got some things to sort out tactically, haven't they? And Marvin Elliott would be the obvious choice to put back at right back. Lee Johnson slotting in. Dean Windass's goal certainly on the counter-attack, wasn't it? Because Bristol City were the ones doing the pressing at this moment in time, and Dilly Adebayo, it's a poor first touch. The ball gets cleared, and all of a sudden, Hull spring forward. But look at Fraser Campbell's movement. He takes the defender away, and then he darts into the space. It's brilliant striking, and from here on in, it's about two things. Fraser Campbell's skill and awareness, and as he pulls it back, this stunning, spectacular volley from Dean Windass. And that really is as good as it gets.
Well, that is the decisive moment in this match. Few will begrudge it to Dean Windass.
They kept him quiet for 15-20 minutes, didn't they, at the start of this game? And then all of a sudden he just started finding a bit of space and getting on the ball and getting more involved.
Well, you said, Don, didn't you, that it would be a moment of brilliance, perhaps combined with a mistake, and probably both those elements involved in the goal. Different areas of the field.
There will be a minimum of 6
added minutes. So the first half will go into the 50s. And as the minutes tick on, so the concern rises for the condition of Bradley Orr.
Marvin Elliott trying to rouse his teammates there. This is the last thing that Bristol City, no supporters wanted or needed. He has been an influential player for them this season, Bradley Orr. And our thoughts are with him. He's got some talking to do, hasn't he, Gary Johnson, at half-time. We heard big Sam Allardyce before the game say that'll be the time that he can earn his corn and he can influence those boys. It's half-time team talk. It's all changed in a flash, because I'm pretty sure he would have been relatively satisfied with the way the game was going until that moment of magic from Dean Windass.
conversation with the referee there, Dean Windass. No doubt still talking about that incident earlier when he was penalised for backing in. I think he is, you know.
He is, you can see by his actions. He's saying I was going back, he came over the top of me. But Alan Wiley, very, very experienced referee. First class, enjoys communicating with the players, and that's a real positive for me.
Recently a recipient as well of Sir Alex Ferguson's famous hairdryer treatment. It was he who gave the handball against Michael Carrick in the Premier League meeting at Stamford Bridge towards the late of the season, which ensured that the race for the Premier League title went right to the wire. A race for a Premier League place. Hull City have their noses in front, and Bristol City have some regrouping to do. Bradley Orr prepares to leave the field with the thoughts of everyone here at Wembley Stadium with him. And as a whole, this massive championship playoff crowd rises to its feet to applaud Bradley Orr. Players as well.
It's good to see. Absolutely, really, really good to see.
So comes the change, and after the disappointment of being left out of the starting lineup, Lee Johnson, who missed the end of the season through injury, that's why he hasn't been a regular in the side, will come on, and it does look, to start off with at least, like the presence of Marvin Elliott will be sacrificed from midfield and will take up position at right back. And Elliott caught into action straight away. That's helped on by McIntyre and so on by Trundle. Adebola. Brown is down. Carl. What sort of response will Bristol City have to the upheaval, both in terms of the goal conceded and in terms of losing a key man in unfortunate circumstances? Early signs are positive. Noble. Tidied up by Wayne Brown. Noble looking for Trundle. Brown to clear. Remember, 6 minutes of added time were shown, but it could well be more. And the goal for Bristol City would change the complexion completely once again. They seek it here. Looking for Adebola, away by Brown.
That's a good response, isn't it? Since the stoppage, and the crowd are getting right behind him. I want to finish this half with a flourish.
Elliott. Campbell again to tow it away from Fontaine. Windass and Ashby, Barnby too, joining the attack. It's good recovery by Fontaine. Now McIntyre. Carl.
There's not many options in front of them at the moment.
Find the one that is there in Dele Adebola.
When you look at the way Hull City broke to score that goal, it was really fast break, full of drive and determination to get up and support the front boys. Really should be setting an example to Bristol City on how breaking it up and counter-attacking is done.
Lee Johnson. Trundle wants it early. Adebola, the lone figure in red inside the Hull penalty area. Now Noble. Trundle McIntyre there now. And a dig from distance from Noble.
Well, he brought the right to that with his spectacular goal in the first leg of the semi-final at Selhurst Park, didn't he? But not his best effort.
In the 7th minute of added time at the end of the first half now. And an injury to Bradley Orr, which understandably Took the shine off a most wonderful and most memorable goal of Dean Windass. Scored a few in his career. It might just go down as the most memorable and the most significant. Bristol City will have something to say about it, but Hull exactly where they want to be as this first half comes to a close. Carl.
Lee Johnson slotting in there. He will be getting his foot on the ball. He's an orchestrator of moves, isn't he, for Bristol City? Disappointed when he got injured, but like you say, he's come on the field and he's got plenty of time to prove influential on this game.
Carry away. One of the initial things you notice about this new midfield pairing is it's not the biggest, is it? Lee Johnson and Nick Carl.
It's very creative, though. That'll be the positive for it.
Windass, can he touch for Barnby? Now Ashby. Johnson breaks it up. Looks for Dele Adebola.
Turner again, he's been everywhere, hasn't he? Back there.
Demonstrating on the big stage, Michael Turner, why he was voted the Hull City Player of the Year. Now Lewis Carey. Adebola beaten in the air by Turner. Hughes. Garcia. Fontaine. Adebola. Trundle. Goalkeeper was the favourite to get there first, and so it proved. Foul on Garcia. Frustrations for McAllister. The last thing they need is a man losing their cool, Bristol City. Since the start of the day, and now they've lost two defenders for a variety of reasons. And they've lost a goal to this man. A very special moment for Dean Windass is what separates these two sides and what puts Hull City in the driving seat for that final Premier League place next season. A moment to savour for Hull City, and that is why they lead here at Wembley by 1-0 at half-time.
But there is still only one goal in it, remember that. Bristol City fans will have to remember that. We'll get the thoughts of Dion Dublin, Sam Allardyce and Peter Bigrey when we come back. But after 140 years outside the top tier, one of their own has given Hull City a real fighting chance.
Bristol City, we'll look at the fact that last season they were playing in the third level of English football. They'll look at the fact that it's been 28 years since they were relegated from the top tier. They'll look at all the effort they've put in over the 46 games of the Coca-Cola Championship season, and they'll look at the fact that they have 45 minutes to keep their top-flight dream alive. No changes to personnel at half-time. That's away by Brown. This is Lee Johnson, who came on for the stricken Bradley Orr. And this is Marvin Elliott, who replaces him at right back. Cut out by Ashby. On by Adebola. McIndoe. His contribution in the second half will be key. Lee Johnson. Nick Carl. Lively start by Bristol City. Carl. Wide.
It might be wide, but it is a lively start by Bristol City. It's going to need a little bit more of the same. It's their midfielders linking up here. Johnson back heels to Carl. It opens up a little bit for him. Decides to let fly. Way off target, but at least it's a statement of positive intent.
And you would sense that they would be looking for this goal sooner rather than later, Bristol City. They'll be only too aware of the threat on the bench. The likes of Caleb Folan, who possesses such power and pace. Fagan, a playoff winner with Derby County last season. Ricketts looks long for Hull, to the provider of that goal that separates the sides, Fraser Campbell. Showed great maturity, didn't he, with his decision-making to pick out the veteran Dean Windass.
That was very, very unselfish play, wasn't it? His opportunity had gone as he drifted wider, but he had the presence of mind to look up, spot a free Dean Windass and deliver the perfect pass for him to thrash that volley into the back of the net.
Ricketts.
I just feel there's more to come from the forward players of Bristol City. Dilly Adebola, Lee Trundle, and the two wide boys, McIndoe and Noble. Bristol City will want to get them much, much more involved if they possibly can.
Garcia. Now Andy Dawson, who hopes he'll be joining his kid brother Michael in the Premier League next season. Michael of Spurs, of course. Family already a winner on this ground this season. He was part of that Carling Cup winning side for Tottenham. Another factor as well, Don, is the heat here at Wembley. Might be a slightly overcast afternoon. Slight breeze as well, but it is touching 30 degrees, we understand, down there pitch side. And you can see the temperature gauge down by the dugout.
It's hot down there.
Helped on by Garcia. Basso out in the nick of time.
You just wonder at what stage, might be another 20-25 minutes from now before we feel the effects of this hot day. But at some stage, there will be players wilting out there, you would think.
McIndoe. Lee Johnson wants it. McIndoe has other ideas. This is Noble. Trying to work her way through. Came off the arm of Hughes. And Bristol City have hope.
Well, he looks dumbfounded, doesn't he? He's saying, how on earth is this intentional? He's about half a yard away. It's lifted up. He can't possibly do anything about that. This could be a big arguing point if Bristol City manufacture anything from this.
Mentioned already that he was the referee who gave that Carrick-Ham ball, which allowed Chelsea to beat Manchester United in the closing stages of the Premier League campaign. Well, this is Bristol City's reward here.
They do work hard, very, very hard on set pieces. They are a threat.
Noble and McIndoe, the two standing over it. David Noble hits it, but straight down the throat of Myhill.
It's a tame effort, really. At the end of the day, doesn't really generate any power. He gets it up and round. It's easy pickings for Boaz Myhill.
He scored one not unlike that on the final day of the season as they saw off Preston. 3-0 win, and he got the third from the free kick, David Noble.
Well, that one ended up in the stanchion though, didn't it?
Nudge from Fraser Campbell. "15 goals this season and none in the last 3, but we've already seen what else he brings to the party for Hull. Comfortable enough, Adriano Basso. Let's get a word with our touchline man, Greg Whelan.
Thanks indeed, Bill. Just confirmation, really, that Bradley Orr has now left Wembley Stadium. He's on his way to the Central Middlesex Hospital, accompanied by his father, I might add. Bristol City staff do suspect a depressed fracture of the cheekbone. There was a degree of concussion as well, but at least when I saw him, he was conscious and he was sitting up. So hopefully some good news for Bradley Orr.
Lee Johnson looking up for Dilly Adebola. Might come down from McIndoe here. Trundle's done well. Plenty of bodies back in the box for Hull. McAllister. McIndoe.
He's asking for a corner. I think it's more in hope than expectation. Again, he goes up, he's getting himself in there. He's suggesting it comes off Wayne Brown, but it doesn't. It's a good decision by the officials.
Not the tallest, is he, Michael McIndoe? Did well to become the jam in the Hull City sandwich, but unable to find the target. Signs of early promise from the men from the West Country, though. Windass. Campbell turned into traffic in the form of the Bristol City captain. Slip from Basso, not too costly. Trundle, had to touch it on with his arm, but the referee's wave play on.
Well, he played an advantage. Bristol City weren't able to capitalise.
And they're attacking their own supporters in this second half, that end of the ground, and plenty of noise coming from the contingent in red as they will their side back into this final, trailing by that wonderful Dean Windass goal. They look for the free kick, they won't get it, just the corner. A throw right in the corner, I should say.
It's a similar pattern to the first half, isn't it? Bristol City asking the questions early on.
Back in an offside position.
Well, that's silly, really. You've got to know your whereabouts on the pitch. Takes the throw in and moves forward from it. Look, he's clearly offside. You've got to be aware of little things like that.
Melvin Elliott is used to playing on the big occasion in that position. I seem to remember he played right back for Millwall in the FA Cup against Manchester United at the Millennium Stadium. It was some 3-4 seasons ago now. Certainly been one of the revelations of this season for Bristol City. And like Bradley Orr, who's now since departed, of course, he also voted in the PFA Team of the Season.
Wayne Brown a little bit animated about something. I think it's the Dean Windass thing again. Every time there's an aerial challenge, there's a coming together between Dean Windass and Lewis Carey. And he's got it this time.
It's given them a platform, hasn't it, that goal? But it is by no means guaranteed anything just yet. Still plenty of work to do for Hull City to turn the long-held dream into reality. So easy to forget they're on the brink of extinction back in the late 90s. Gates to Boothbury Park were locked. Ashby. Good crossing by Windass. Garcia rose well, but so too did Fontaine. Now Ashby. Didn't quite get it as he wanted it, Ricketts.
Sport and football, it's about progression, isn't it? When you think where Hull City came from this time last season, they just escaped relegation to League One. And they're so close to making it to that Premier League.
As I think back from the Bristol City point of view, as they get another useful-looking free kick. Turner penalised for climbing on his opposite number.
Well, this is what Dean Windass was complaining was going on with him before, but this time it's a big physical tussle, isn't it? Got his arms around him. Alan Wiley deciding that's an infringement.
Another chance for them to show off their set-piece prowess. The one that found a way through against Crystal Palace. It's known as the Weasel on the training ground. I wonder what the call is here from McIndoe, who's involved right in the thick of it. Lee Johnson making his move to this left-hand side. Lewis Carey as well, the man who scored the goal at Selhurst Park. The piece is in place here.
It doesn't look 10 yards back, that ball, but
McIndoe strikes, deflected wide. Corner kick, nothing more.
Very, very quickly appeals for a penalty and sprints off to take the corner as he strikes it. Strikes it well. Caught the top of the arm, didn't it?
Taken quickly. Bristol City looking to capitalise on a good moment and very nearly managing to do so. Trundle put it wide.
I think it was Leon Fontaine that got the closest to forcing this in. Short one, lifted up, they attack it well. Yeah, it's Trundle nips in. Is this a handball? This is what they're claiming for. It strikes the top of the shoulder there. I think you'd be very lucky to get a penalty for that.
Well, they're looking for something to get their teeth into, Bristol City. Brown, could he move towards the ball? That's what they will feel. That's certainly what Michael McIndoe felt. And crucially not what Alan Wiley felt. Noble. Brown. Windass wins the header. Campbell. There's a Campbell. With bustling run showing his strength and his ambition. Came off Carlo. Now Lee Johnson. Looking for Adebola.
That's good defending again. And Hull City are going to have to be on their toes.
Dawson and Ashby, two combined. If Hull do get what they want here this afternoon, will have played those two in all 4 divisions with this football club over the last 5 seasons. Extraordinary, really, the rise from the bottom to the top. Not there yet, but well on the way, Hull. It came off Windass. Campbell offside.
He just went very early, but it must have been fairly tight. He has got bags of pace to burn. Probably doesn't need to go, and to me, he's not offside. He's level. And that should have been allowed to go on.
Johnson for Adebola. Windass. Campbell dusts himself down, picks himself up.
You can see Bristol City are doing the pressing. 7 attempts in this game, but it's Hull's only attempt that has been decisive. 1 on target, spectacular though it was, 1 goal.
Carl. It's a good run from him. Intercepted by Turner, who can now turn defence into attack. Campbell, Turner's continued his run. Campbell for Windass. Hughes. Ricketts, now Garcia.
You get the feeling Hull have settled for this lead, don't you, really? The way they're sort of casually trying to keep a hold of the ball and not really look to progress forward. Could be a dangerous game, that.
Marvin Elliott, Lee Trundle. Look to the referee. Then waved away. Here's Nicky Barmby. Dean Windass. Ashby prevailed and worked it through to Barmby. Now Campbell. Campbell to do it all single-handedly. Didn't get the power in the shot.
Pointing, he wanted the ball played earlier into a bit of space. Felt that he had broken free.
Vibrant passage of play from Bristol City at the moment. McIndoe. They back off. McIndoe will get another bite at it. Might need some support. Might not. Some of defending by Dawson.
Look who's back there. It's Fraser Campbell, isn't it? All the way back, helping his defenders out. And as this game goes on, Hull just dropping a little bit deeper.
And it's about this time of the match Phil Brown tends to make a change. He might do before too long. That's sailed up by McAllister. How to keep it alive, Noble, arriving late.
Indeed, it was difficult to see what he's trying to do. He's trying to pull the ball back into an area. It's a decent ball into that far post, and you see Noble makes up a lot of ground, tries to pull it back. Good positioning from Myhill.
Judging by the pattern adopted by the Hull manager in the two playoff semi-finals, Dean Windass and Nicky Barmby tend to get about an hour before Caleb Folan and Craig Fagan come on.
We'll be watching them both very closely now, aren't he?
Barmby might yet have something to say here. It checks, Barmby jumps, Basso claims at the second attempt.
He's not happy with the challenge. It's a couple of times that the ball has bounced high and it's checked and slowed down. He's got every right to go for that. I don't know whether Basso thinks he's leading with his arm.
Trundle, Noble. And it's Bristol City who will make the change. Ivan Sprawl.
Bristol City substitution, David Noble.
David Noble, who nominally is playing right on the right of midfield, but has spent a lot of the afternoon in a more central position, replaced by an out-and-out winger. And Ivan Sprawl, the Northern Ireland international, fleet-footed.
Well, this fella is fleet-footed. He has got pace to burn, and he's going to represent a whole new challenge to that Hull City back four.
Contribution from Sprawl. Stefan Lee Johnson, fellow substitute. McAllister. McIndoe. Not beyond Dean Windass. Windass did pull back at him. Lewis Carey. Target Adebola. Finds its target as well. Carlin now.
It's a dangerous game. Sam Ricketts trying to let the ball run out. Never had enough pace on it.
Lee Johnson. Liam Fontaine. Fontaine's cross towards Adebola, away by Barmby.
Well, Hull have got one up, and the ball just keeps coming out to Bristol City.
McAllister has a try this time, Adebola. And they're containing the threat, but only just.
There's still plenty of time in this match for Bristol City. And you get the feeling the longer it goes, the more bodies they have to commit forward, though, that they will leave one or two gaps that Hull may be able to exploit, but it's a gamble that you just have to take under these circumstances.
And goodness me, aren't the stakes high as well. Windass does get the decision this time. Smile from Fontaine, but more significantly a free kick for Hull.
They're not going to be in any rush to take this, I can assure you.
Well, there is Caleb Folan. Craig Fagan making his way past as well. To the usual suspects to come on. Meantime, Windass and Dawson stand over this for Hull. Already leading by Windass's sweet first half volley. Windass strikes it, but not as he would have wanted. A little slip there as well, I think. McAllister. was the first of those Hull changes. 12 months ago, a playoff winner with Derby County comes on looking to do the double. No more playoff goals for Nicky Barmby, no more Wembley goals for him. 1989 when he last scored at this stadium, albeit in its previous guise for England's schoolboys. England caps on this ground, and who knows, maybe a promotion with his hometown club sealed and delivered. We'll have to wait and see about that last bit.
He's been very effective, hasn't he, in helping his team in these playoffs. In all the 3 games.
Fagan back on loan from Derby. McAllister, Adebola, Sproul, Elliott, Ivan Sproul. Real threat here from Bristol City. A touch from the goalkeeper, and it bounces and is hooked away by Ricketts. Well, that's what he brings to the party, Sproul. McAllister, Adebola, McIndoe's offside. Knew he couldn't really go for the ball as he would have wanted.
Well, if you're Bristol City, you get the ball to Ivan Sproul because he's got fresh legs. He's coming into the latter stages of the game, and as we've said, he's got pace to burn. Watch the way he goes easily past Dawson, and that's an important touch by Myhill just to take that away. Lee Trundle was hovering in behind there.
McIndoe. Just about a quarter of this final remains. Dean Windus's 39th minute goal, a separating factor. It's looking increasingly fragile. Carr, felled by Fagan.
Once again, I'm not happy, but once again, Alan Wiley, he's right on the spot, literally a couple of yards away from that. And it's another opportunity to try and work the goalkeeper. They haven't done it as yet.
Discussion between McIndoe and Lee Johnson. Lewis Carey and Liam Fontaine, the 2 centre-halves, are up. Ivan Sproul hanging on the edge of the penalty area, and Bristol City supporters hanging on the edge of their seats. Lee Johnson, the manager's son, denied by the Hull City defences. Carey. It's come to Billy Adebola here. Locked up by Garcia. Sort of frantic defending that you'd expect at this stage of a match with this sort of importance to both clubs, both cities. Fontaine. Garcia. Breezes beyond Lee Johnson. This is a terrific run by Richard Garcia.
That's good defending as well. He's made up a lot of ground there, though, Garcia, for his team. They have been on the back foot in this second half.
Hull City substitution, Dean Windus.
True to form, another Hull City substitution that we might have expected. Dean Windus departs the scene. His first ever game at Wembley looks like being such a memorable one. Let's have a reminder of just why.
Well, if this is the goal that wins it for Hull City, it will be fitting. Absolutely stunning strike.
Being replaced by
You might just see him crowned as the King of Hull. Under 20 minutes.
been an effective substitute, hasn't he, Caleb Folan?
9 goals this season, 6 of them coming off the bench. Ricketts. It's allowed to bounce in there. Always a risky ploy. Fagan. Back comes Sprawlerton. Play pulled back anyway for a previous infringement.
I think there was a foul in there. He saw Alan Wiley that Fagan was going into the corner and under pressure and pulled it back.
Hughes and Dawson. It's hit by Hughes. What an awkward one that was to defend.
Marvin Elliott in the end has a real swipe at this, not really certain what's behind him. He follows, goes in, goes over, has a swing, and very luckily misses it.
It's not the end of the live football today for you on Sky Sports. The Republic of Ireland kick off the reign of Giovanni Trapattoni against Serbia tonight, 7:30, Sky Sports 2. McIndoe. On by McAllister. Here's Lee Trundle. Still going Trundle.
That's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant skill. The only thing is it ends up on his right foot. He doesn't get the power or the direction, but look at this. He stands Wayne Brown, twists him inside out. And he's unlucky. Great skill.
2 goals in his last 3. 3 in his last 27, Lee Trundle. Just shows you how he's come good towards the end of the season. How he would have wished that could have been on his other foot, though. Might have seen a very different outcome. Carl. Now McIndoe.
Well, they're just pressing, aren't they, Bristol City? Asking the questions. This time it's McIndoe finding space, look. He hits it early. He's swerving away. It's a decent hands by Myhill in the end.
Well, they are the 2 players who've had those efforts, who have been among the goals recently for Bristol City. They are asking the questions, but taking risks as well. Caleb Folan bearing down on Lewis Carey. McIndoe. Upended by Ashby. Well, there's one final throw of the dice available to Gary Johnson in Bristol City, and that is top scorer Darren Byfield. He's almost ready. Up towards Dele Adebola. Tyner again, a formidable barrier in the way.
Well, he's been a colossal, hasn't he, at the back there? Michael Turner, player of the year. Big physical battle with Dele Adebola. Arms around a little bit, look, to be fair. Referee doesn't see anything wrong with that, but if that had been outside the box, you wonder whether he'd been blowing the whistle.
Instructions from the bench as the final changes made. Nick Carl sacrifice for Darren Byfield. Quarter of an hour to go, time running out. The unlikeliest of promotees at the start of the season, Bristol City. Still not away from them.
Darren Byfield has scored a playoff winning goal for Walsall at the Millennium. He's got this big game experience.
Saying before the game as well, he would be more than happy to be cast in the role of super sub. Well, it's down to him now. Can he add to the 8 goals this season?
6 of those from the bench as well. Another effective substitute.
Hughes.
They are taking risks now, pushing bodies forward. Marvin Elliott's back in the middle of midfield, look. fighting for the ball there, and they're playing with 3 defenders, Bristol City.
Against 2 very, very dangerous opponents in Folan and Campbell. Fagan trying to get beyond him. We might just see the first yellow card of this final for Ivan Sproul.
Yeah. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say this is a striker's tap challenge. He chases back well. Fagan does well. Sproul nowhere near the ball. All of this eats up valuable time for Hull City.
Dawson. Fagan. Garcia. Good turn from Garcia. Stinging shot as well.
Oh, super strike. Bristol City looking to get on with it.
Darren Byfield. This is McIndoe. Trundle.
Need to get hold of it. Can't afford it.
A record for a playoff final. The good folk of Bristol and Hull doing their clubs proud. Campbell. There's a good battle with Fontaine. Sharp pulling in there. Free kick for Hull.
Look at those 2 boys. Not long to go now. What a day they've had. I'll just be praying. It's not very often you wish your life away, but I bet they're doing that now.
The veteran section of the Hull City bench. Oh, goodness me, those 2 have played such a part in guiding Hull from the 3rd place finish to the 3rd promotion place. 11 minutes plus added time away now, but 2 Nicky Barmby goals and 2 Dean Windass goals in 3 playoff games. 2 players born in Hull, 2 Hull City supporters. If you'd offered it up as a script before the playoffs, it might have been waved away as unrealistic.
Fantastic story, isn't it?
Brian Hughes. Well, Hull would love a second to get a bit of breathing space and start those celebrations a little bit early. Garcia. It's great tenacity from Garcia. Cut up for Caleb Folan. Real chance here. And it hit Fraser Campbell and is cleared away.
Well, Fraser Campbell was down with cramp, saw that it was coming towards him and got up and nearly got his head on that and diverted it in.
McIndoe. Trundle. Trying to get the curl on the ball, he lost the accuracy.
Well, that's just been the difference between these 2 teams today. Quality in that final third, whether it be a cross, whether it be a finish or a shot. That's going to be the fundamental difference if it stays the way it is for these Bristol fans.
Well, it might not feel like it if the scoreline stays like this at the end of play and they prepare themselves, they cut their cloth for another season in the Championship, but important to remember, they finished with 7-8 points behind Scunthorpe in 2nd place in League One last season. Just look where Scunthorpe are now and look where Bristol City. It's been an astonishing effort this season. No mistake under Gary Johnson, they will come again. No one will be underestimating them next season. I'm sure Hull City won't be underestimating them in the final 10 minutes here either. Sproul. Lee Johnson's got a little bit of space to deal with here. Closed quickly by Fagan. Ivan Sproul. Closed out well on that far side. In goes Lewis Carey. Strong, combative player down. Alan Wiley blows the whistle. Folan may well have hurt himself here. Well, the referee hasn't given anything for the challenge by Lewis Carey.
Well, Lewis Carey was very, very committed. I think the ball was getting away from him. And one thing in his mind. And that's to try and retrieve it for his team. And as he lunges in there, look, you can see gets over the ball, just catches the top of Caleb Folan's foot. There it is there, and that's a painful blow. We've had Fraser Campbell as well, going down with cramp.
Two prongs of the Hull City attack not operating as they might be. This looks worrying. I mean, you see situations which look like the contact's relatively minimal, but how many times have we seen broken metatarsals and the like spring from something along those lines? Concern etched on the face of Phil Brown. So near, but yet so far from an improbable but extraordinary end to this Hull City season. Came pretty close, didn't they, these two clubs 12 months ago, to swapping places. Phil Brown had half a season in charge to keep them in the Championship. Bristol City closing in on automatic promotion from League One. Could have been a very different story, but here they are. Keenly contested from start to finish. Fascinating contest between two sides who have really punched above their weight in the Championship this season. And it has taken something special, something very special from Dean Windass to put Hull so close to where they have never been before in their history. Hope starting to turn to belief. It's starting to dawn on those hordes in amber that they are so close now. Bristol City, on the other hand, starting to feel that they have come so close and may well have to head back up the M4 empty-handed.
I do feel there's still time. And all they need is that one chance, Bristol City. They won't have given up just yet. And how often do you see late goals and drama in games like this?
Heads on. Seemed to catch an awkward one there, Hughes. Goes in a little wildly, although he didn't make a lot of contact. The referee has given the free kick and may give a little bit more.
Well, he was annoyed. He thought he should have had a free kick just before that.
Folan returns to the fray, but you can't say he's moving as cleanly as he might want to. They have another change in mind, Hull. Away by Ashby. Back in by Carey. Dele Adebola. This is Darren Byfield. McIndoe. Should be the goalkeeper's ball. It's an awkward one for him. It's Trundle, and that could be the most significant moment of this second half. Michael Turner, the Hull City Player of the Year, with an astonishing block.
Well, you're just waiting for the referee to blow his whistle, but he doesn't get anything on it. So clearly falls to Trundle. What a block that is, and Gary Johnson thinks he cannot believe it. That is a massive moment in this game.
In by Lee Johnson.
Is that the chance?
McIndoe. It's that man Turner again. Player of the Year. They might upgrade it to Player of the Century, although Dean Windass would have something to say about that. In towards Brown. It's fallen to Michael McIndoe. Wanted too long. Ashby closed him out. What a finale in Prospect Eras. Bristol City fight to the finish. Walking wounded in the amber of Hull.
Well, he's hobbling around, but he's in and around where it counts to clear the danger. Caleb Folan.
McIndoe. McAllister. Folan. Fraser Campbell on the move. Carey could be caught out. Campbell on his own. Folan trying to make up the ground to join him. Campbell.
It's a tired effort. He's disappointed with it, and I'm pretty certain had it been earlier in the game, he would have been looking to run Lewis Carey.
Carey. Adebola target man, and just over agonisingly by Byfield.
Oh, he's holding his head. Again, it's a decent opportunity. As Adebola flicks it on, Byfield just can't quite get above it, but this is the earlier one. Arvin Elliott jumps with Myhill, but it comes to Trundle. Decent touch, but look at Turner, he's out, stretches his whole body and gets a vital block, and look at the agony on their faces.
When it is your day, those sort of opportunities find a way through. The deflection takes it beyond the goalkeeper, not beyond the goal mouth. Bristol playing with a fire that would suggest that they don't think this is beyond them just yet. They'll still have hopes of extra time, taking this one all the way. But it is running out 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Byfield, eluded 3. Sproul. Well, it could have been Sproul, but Fagan intercepted.
Some tired play out there, isn't there? I dread to think if Bristol can nick one and it goes to extra time, I'm sure they'll find some energy from somewhere.
60 million good reasons why they just might. Adebola, Byfield. Another chance, goes begging.
And again, he probably had a little bit more time than he realises here, Darren Byfield. Once again, they have to go long, Bristol City. Adebola wins the flick. I don't know, could he have just taken a little touch to the side there? But credit to Bristol City, they're still having a go. You can see they're still edging the attempts. Not enough of those attempts from Bristol on the goal.
Won by Adebola. Trundle trying to get in behind. Adebola again. Lee Trundle. On the corner for Sproul. What a chance! Byfield denied by Ricketts.
Well, you can see why this team, this Hull City team, don't concede goals. They're prepared to throw their bodies in and get blocks in. And that's a couple of vital ones.
They must be starting to think it's their day now. In the last minute, Sproul. Little hope from Ivan Sproul.
Look at Dean Windass. He's done his piece. Just doesn't want to watch. But Sam Ricketts, how well does he do here again? Adebola wins the header. It's decent play. And Sproul does well. That's a great ball in there. And Darren Byfield, eyes must be lighting up thinking he's equalising. But what about that for a fantastic goal-saving challenge? Breaking hearts, isn't he?
And by McAllister. Now goes triangle edge of the box. Nothing given. And now the tens of thousands of Bristol City supporters look to the ball. There it goes. 4 minutes to salvage a dream that looked so unlikely 12 months ago. Back-to-back promotions and the hopes of them drifting away. Campbell goes down, and this time a free kick will be given. And it will be given to Hull.
And again, it's going to eat up some time. This might take a minute, minute and a half before they even strike this ball.
Campbell down, but Hull by no means out. The end of the stadium they attack here is just about to erupt. Just over 3 minutes away of a party that the city of Hull has never seen.
And Brian Hughes has placed the ball. We've got Garcia out here on the right. Do they pass it out and try and waste time?
Hughes to take it. Wasn't far away.
That's a decent effort. He's got this in the locker, hasn't he, Brian Hughes? Trying to whip that ball round and over. Well, not that far away at all, is it? And Dean Windass. Just love that to a nestle.
Could be the reaction of any one of these Hull City supporters who, for the best part of 40 years, has been supporting the club. Well, it is exactly that, in fact. Might not have always played for them, but they've always had the place in the heart. And it looks like that blow he struck 6 minutes from half-time is the crucial one. Turner. On by Ashby. Carey. Pull back at. Yellow card, no surprise.
I don't know why he's complaining, Fraser Campbell. It's like a rugby tackle, wasn't it? Again, from Bristol point of view. Clock's running down.
Trying to run it down a little more by sending on Dean Marnie for these closing 90 seconds.
Fraser Campbell.
Fantastic supporting role played by Fraser Campbell again. Slow move from Manchester United, which has helped ensure that Hull City will be playing Manchester United home and away in the league next season. Last minute. Must be close to the last chance. In by Lee Johnson. Turner got his head to it. Caleb Folan. Off goes Marnie, the freshest legs out there in Hull City colours.
That's the lot, Caleb Folan, that's the lot of Dean Marnie. And now McAllister is down. Cramp.
It seems to be the magic number for Phil Brown. Back five, I think he'd want a back 10 to repel Bristol City for these agonising closing moments. Lee Johnson. Caleb Folan. 4 minutes up. 104 years of waiting without ever playing in the top division. Liam Fontaine goes forward. Lee Trundle. Adebola. And away by Mile. Still alive, still hope for Bristol City. Angled in again by Lee Trundle. And a massive catch, matched by the massive cheer.
Wayne Brown thinks that's it. Jumps on his keeper's back.
Hull City are in the Premier League, and that is something that no one has ever said before, and anyone's listened. Dean Windass's wonderful, magical goal, the cleanest and purest of strikes, has meant that his boyhood dreams and that of a footballing city have come true here in North London this afternoon. Hello, Premiership. Well, they've had their nervous moments. The smallest of margins separates these two sides, these two cities who've been unlikely contestants for the final Premier League place available this season. But Phil Brown has taken Hull City where they have never, ever been before.
Oh, we knew it was going to be tight, we knew it was going to be tense, we knew it was going to be a close game, but what a fitting goal to win any match of this significance. It's fairy tale stuff, I mean, it's often said, isn't it? But this story, this is going to be right up there with the best fairy tale stories in football.
39 years old, Dean Windass. And one goal that he will never, ever forget. No one associated with Hull and the football club They were nearly out of business in the last decade, and now, boy, are they in business. They're in the Premier League. They're going to Old Trafford, the Emirates Stadium, Stamford Bridge, Anfield and the like. It won't have sunk in there, and I don't think it's sunk into the 11 heroes who started the match. The management team, Phil Brown, who saved them from relegation, let's not forget, 12 months ago. Now he has guided them to the Premier League.
Incredible to think, isn't it? 4 seasons ago, weren't they in the bottom tier of the Football League? I don't care about that now. Incredible scenes.
A movement of Hull City supporters that has never been seen before. And let's get some Hull City reaction. We can cross down to Greg Whelan.
Dean, a fairy tale end to a magnificent year for you and Hull City.
Unbelievable. You can just see what it means to him, man. I don't think there's anybody left in Hull today, I don't think. It's absolutely surreal, man. I can't believe it. And to score the winning goal, you know, but it's not just about me, the defence and that. For, you know, the majority of the game and all season have been absolutely fantastic and fully deserved. You know, we've worked hard from the start of the season, but you know, we got all we want.
Your 201st career goal. Have you scored many better than that?
No, Wembley, I haven't. I've never been here before. No, obviously Fraser Campbell. You know, he picked me out and I just volleyed it. You know, couldn't believe it. It went in the top corner, but. It's just unbelievable. Look at this, it's absolutely fantastic.
39 years old and you're heading for the Premier League. Is this the final chapter you were talking about for your book?
Let me go on holiday first, I'll tell you. No, it's just unbelievable. I'm lost for words, and I'm absolutely delighted for the coaching staff. God, it's Nicky, you know, everybody. It's absolutely unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Nick, you've had some highs in your football career. Tell us how this compares.
Amazing, right up there, you know, fantastic. Your hometown club, never been in the Premiership before. Unbelievable, brilliant.
Tell us what this means for your hometown.
It means everything, you know, it's a knock-on effect for the kids to see Premiership football. You know, we're going there, we're going to compete, but we're going to think about that when we come back pre-season. If
you get your colleague back here, there's also a Man of the Match award for him.
No worries, fantastic.
Perhaps you can present it to him. Well done today.
Well done, thank you. Thank you.
Let's just remind you, 104 years Hull City have been going as a football club. This is the first time they have played in the top tier of English football. The man who masterminded it, Phil Brown, is with Guy Havord.
Phil, many, many congratulations. How's it feel to be the first Hull City manager ever to get promoted to the top flight?
Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. Feel for them lads over there. They gave it their best shot. At some stage, somebody was going to win the game. How fitting Dean win this for to get the winner. Fantastic. These boys have played their heart out all season for me. Now we need a big effort in the Premier League.
Do you have a feeling it would be one of your old boys like Dean who might come up today?
I think it was written in the gods, to tell you the truth. It was either going to be Dean Windus or Nicky Barmby, but fabulous feeling. Massive pride for everybody here. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
You've been up as a number 2. What's it like to be up as the gaffer?
Nice feeling. Much better.
And I suppose your time at Bolton, does that give you heart that Hull can not only stay up next season but ultimately prosper?
Well, that's the model you look at now, Bolton Wanderers. Everybody talks about Derby County and how they've done last year. The model that you've got to look at is the success stories of Bolton Wanderers, Reading, Portsmouth. It takes investment. The chairman's done an absolutely magnificent job for me. If he can back me in the Premier League, who knows how far we can go.
Fantastic achievement, well done.
Thank you.
It is time for the presentation. Let's get back to Don and Bill.
Well, the two Hull old boys, Dean Windass and Nicky Barmby, not the only great story within the ranks of those men in amber making their way up the famous Wembley steps here. Ian Ashby, the captain, leading them up. Finished 13 in the old Division 3 5 years ago in his first season at the club. Scored a goal against Gary Johnston's side, against Yeovil Town, to see them promoted out of the bottom division. That was only 4 years ago. Back-to-back promotions, a couple of seasons to consolidate and just to survive in the Championship. And now, what a mighty springboard onto the big time.
It's incredible, isn't it? Four of those Hull players have played, or by this time next season will have played in all 4 divisions of the Football League for Hull City. Quite a remarkable achievement.
A moment to reflect as well on everyone involved with the rise of Hull City, going back to Adam Pearson and Peter Taylor, who masterminded the back-to-back promotions. They've since departed, the new men taking over. Paul Duffin, whose vision bankrolled Phil Brown's ambitious plans on the field. Fortune favours the brave, and the acquisitions of the like of JJ Okocha and Henrik Pedersen, not involved today, but just showed that they were willing to speculate, to accumulate a little bit. And now their reward comes. They've never ever been to Wembley before today, don't forget. I don't think they will ever forget this day. They say it is the best way to be promoted. No guarantees, plenty of nerves, plenty of pitfalls. Just ask Bristol City about that. It was not their day, but goodness me, is it's Hull City's day. Hull City's year. An afternoon not to ponder what might come over the next 12 months as they cut their cloth for the Premier League, but an afternoon to enjoy uncharted territory, undivided joy, and a place in the Premier League for Hull City. The reality sinks in to players who have played in all 4 divisions at the club, the likes of Ian Ashby. Grant Hughes has experienced so much playoff pain. Wayne Brown, one of last summer's acquisitions, as Phil Brown built the player of the year, and certainly one of the men of the match, Michael Turner. Few could argue, not only with the means of their victory, Don, with that Dean Windass memorable goal, that's the one they'll talk about, but by the way that they've come in and mixed it with the big boys at the top of the championship, and now made this 3rd promotion place their own.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's been a squad effort, including the manager, the coaching staff, every single one of those players, and congratulations to them.
Nathan Doyle, who scored his first goal for the club in the semi-final. Fraser Campbell, one of the questions about whether he will still be at the club next season. Nicky Barmby came to Wembley with one of the rugby league sides of Hull for an all-Hull final. This is an altogether more football occasion. Caleb Folan has a look. Special day for Hull City, and the party will go on long into the night, all the way back up the M1 and the M18 to the city of Hull, and it's probably started there now because of that man. Dean Windass's day, Hull City's day, they are bound for the Premier League.